My name is Lula Thornton, and I'm 70 years old. I was married to Amos Thornton for 48 years. 48 years of what I thought was a solid marriage. Until he left me for a 42-year-old woman named Celia. Said I was too old for him. Said he needed someone who could keep up with him. Said I should understand that he deserved to be happy. He thought he could replace me. Thought I'd sit at home and wither away while he lived his best life with his younger girlfriend. He was wrong, very wrong. Let me tell you about the moment Amos Thornton broke. The moment he walked into the Grand Piedmont Hotel ballroom for his nephew's wedding and saw me, his 70-year-old ex-wife, looking absolutely stunning in a deep emerald green gown, dancing with the most handsome man in the room. A man who was 38 years old, successful, charming, and completely devoted to me. Amos stood frozen in the doorway. His mouth literally dropped open. His face went from confusion to recognition to shock to something that looked like physical pain. Celia, his girlfriend, wearing a dress that was far too young for her, tugged on his arm. "Amos, what's wrong? Why are you starring?" But Amos couldn't respond, couldn't move, couldn't take his eyes off me as I twirled across the dance floor, laughing, glowing, looking happier than I'd been in years. The man I was dancing with, Ransom, a distinguished architect with salt and pepper hair and a smile that could light up a room, pulled me closer and whispered something in my ear. I laughed again, throwing my head back, my emerald dress catching the light perfectly. Amos started walking toward us. His face had gone pale. His hands were shaking. "Lula," he said when he reached us. What are you doing here?" I turned to look at him calmly. "Hello, Amos. I'm attending your nephew Tillman's wedding. I was invited." But with him." Amos gestured at Ransom like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Yes, this is Ransom Webb, my partner." I emphasized the word partner just slightly. Let Amos wonder exactly what kind of partnership we had. Ransom extended his hand. "Amos Thornton, Lula's told me about you. It's interesting to finally meet you." Amos didn't shake his hand, just stared at it like it was a snake. "How old are you?" "I'm 38. Why do you ask?" Amos's face went from pale to red. 38? 38? Lula, he's young enough to be your grandson." "Actually," I said sweetly, "he's only 32 years younger than me. That's less of an age gap than you and Celia. She's 42. You're 73. That's a 31-year gap. So technically, I'm more age-appropriate with Ransom than you are with Celia." The logic hit Amos like a brick. His mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. "And Amos," I continued, my voice still sweet but with an edge of steel, "the difference is Ransom genuinely cares about me. He doesn't think I'm too old. He doesn't think I need to be replaced. He thinks I'm beautiful, intelligent, and fascinating. He treats me like I'm the most important person in the world, something you stopped doing about 20 years ago." Amos's face crumpled, actually crumpled, like someone had physically struck him. "Lula, can we talk privately, please?" "Why? So you can tell me I'm making a mistake. So you can try to convince me that a 70-year-old woman shouldn't be with a younger man. Amos, you made your choice. You left me. You replaced me with Celia. And now I've moved on. I've found someone who makes me happy. Really, truly happy." But this isn't you. You don't do things like this. You're a grandmother. You're supposed to." "Supposed to what? Sit at home and mourn our marriage while you live your life. Supposed to accept being thrown away. Supposed to believe I'm too old to be desired, too old to be loved, too old to live fully." Ransom put his hand on my waist protectively. "Mr. Thornton, I think you should rejoin your date. Lula and I were in the middle of a dance." Amos looked at Ransom's hand on my waist, looked at my face, looked at the happiness radiating from me, and something inside him broke. He made a sound, a choked, gasping sound. His eyes filled with tears. His whole body started shaking. "Lula, please, please, we need to talk. I made a mistake, a terrible mistake. I shouldn't have left you. I shouldn't have said those things. I want to come home. Please, I want to fix this." "It's too late for that, Amos. You don't get to decide you want me back just because you see me happy with someone else." "But I love you. I've always loved you. I I got scared, scared of getting old, scared of dying. I thought being with someone younger would make me feel young again, but it didn't. It just made me feel foolish. And now I've lost you. I've lost everything. And then Amos Thornton, my husband of 48 years, the man who'd left me because I was too old, collapsed. Right there in the middle of the ballroom, on his knees, sobbing, begging me to take him back. People were staring. Celia was standing 10 feet away, looking mortified. The music had stopped. Everyone was watching the 73-year-old man on his knees, crying over the 70-year-old woman in the emerald green dress who was standing tall and unbothered. "Get up, Amos," I said quietly. "You're making a scene." "I don't care. Lula, please. I'll do anything, anything to get you back. Please don't do this to me." "Do this to you?" My voice turned cold. "Amos, you did this. You left me. You told me I was too old for you. You moved another woman into our house while I was still packing my things. You humiliated me in front of our children, our friends, and our church. And now you're upset because I moved on, because I found happiness without you. It's not real happiness. He's just using you. Men his age don't actually want women your age. He must want your money or—" "Enough," Ransom's voice cut through the ballroom. Not loud, but commanding. "Mr. Thornton, you need to leave. Now, before you say something you'll regret even more than you already do." Amos looked up at Ransom, and whatever he saw in Ransom's face made him realize this wasn't a game. This wasn't revenge. This was real. I'd really moved on. I'd really found someone new, and Amos had really lost me forever. He stood up shakily, looked at me one more time. "Lula, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. I never stopped loving you." "Then you shouldn't have thrown me away like I was garbage." I turned back to Ransom. "Shall we continue our dance?" Ransom smiled and pulled me back onto the dance floor. The music started again. And as we danced, I could feel Amos's eyes on me. Feel him standing there, broken, realizing what he'd lost. If this story has you hooked, you need to subscribe right now and hit that notification bell. We bring you the most dramatic grandmother stories every week. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from: USA, UK, Canada, Jamaica, Kenya. Let us know. Now let's get into this story. But to understand how we got here, how I went from a devastated wife to a woman dancing with a man 32 years younger than me, I need to take you back to the beginning. Back to the day Amos told me he was leaving. The day my entire world fell apart. 1 year earlier, I was 70 years old and happily married. Or so I thought. Amos and I had been married for 48 years. We'd raised 3 children together: Zella, Josephus, and Minty. We had 7 grandchildren. We'd built a good life. Sure, our marriage had gotten comfortable. Routine. We didn't go out much anymore. Didn't really have deep conversations. Spent most evenings watching TV in separate rooms. But I thought that was normal. Thought that's what happened after almost 50 years together. I was wrong. One evening in May, Amos came home from his golf game and said, "Lula, we need to talk." "About what?" I was making dinner, pot roast, his favorite. "About us, about our marriage." Something in his tone made me turn around, made me really look at him. He looked nervous, guilty. "What about our marriage?" "I'm not happy, Lula." My heart sank. "What do you mean? What's wrong? We can fix it. Whatever it is, we can work on it together." "I don't want to work on it. I want out." The words hit me like a physical blow. "Out, you mean divorce?" "Yes, I want a divorce." I sat down hard. "Why? Amos, we've been married for 48 years. We have children, grandchildren, a whole life together. Why would you want to throw that away?" "Because I'm 73 years old, Lula. I don't have that many years left, and I don't want to spend them being old." "What does that even mean?" "It means I want to feel alive again, feel young again, feel like there's still adventure left in life, and I can't do that with you." "Why not? We can travel, we can try new things, we can." "You're 70 years old, Lula. You move slow. You get tired easily. You look old. You act old. And when I'm with you, I feel old." I felt like he'd slapped me. "I look old. Amos, you're 73. You're older than me." "That's different. Men age better than women." That's ridiculous. I've met someone who makes me feel young, someone who's excited about life, someone who keeps up with me. My stomach dropped. Who? Her name is Celia. She's 42. She's energetic and fun, and she makes me laugh. She makes me feel like I'm 50 again. 42. Amos, that's only 3 years older than our daughter Zella. That's disgusting. Age is just a number. Apparently it's not. You just said I'm too old for you. You said I make you feel old. But age is just a number. For her, yes. For us, no. Lula, you have to understand, I need this. I need to feel alive before I die. And I can't do that with you. You're a good woman. You've been a good wife. But you're not what I need anymore. So you're throwing me away. After 48 years. After everything we've built together. I'm not throwing you away. I'm setting you free. You can find someone else too. Someone more your speed. Another old person to be old with. Get out, I said quietly. What? Get out of my house. Now. If you want a divorce, fine. But you don't get to stand in my kitchen and tell me I'm too old while you justify running off with a woman young enough to be your daughter. Get out. Lula, you're being unreasonable. I'm being unreasonable. You're leaving me for a woman half your age and I'm being unreasonable. Amos flinched. I'll come back tomorrow to get my things. No, you'll come back with a police escort. Because if you show up here alone, I might not be responsible for what I do to you. He left, and I collapsed on the kitchen floor and cried for 3 hours. The next few months were the darkest of my life. Amos moved in with Celia immediately, like he couldn't wait to start his new life, couldn't wait to be away from his old wife. Our children were divided. Zella, our oldest daughter, was furious with Amos. Dad, how could you do this? Mom is devastated. Your mother will be fine. She's a strong woman. She'll move on. Josephus, our son, tried to stay neutral. Dad, I understand you're unhappy, but did you have to do it this way? Couldn't you have tried counseling first? I don't need counseling. I need to live my life. Minty, our youngest daughter, actually defended him. Mom, maybe this is for the best. Maybe you two weren't right for each other anymore. I couldn't believe my own daughter was siding with him. Minty, he left me for a woman 3 years older than you. I know, and that's weird. But Mom, maybe he's right. Maybe you two had just grown apart. Maybe it's time to accept that and move on. Move on? Move on to what? I'm 70 years old. I can't just start over. Why not? You're healthy. You're smart. You have friends. You have hobbies. Your life doesn't have to be over just because Dad left. But it felt like it was over. It felt like everything was over. I'd spent 48 years being Amos's wife, being Mrs. Thornton, and now I was just Lula, alone, unwanted, too old. I stopped going to church, stopped seeing friends, stopped doing anything except sitting in my house feeling sorry for myself. Until one day, about 4 months after Amos left, my best friend Letty showed up at my door. Lula me Thornton, open this door right now. I opened it. Letty took one look at me and shook her head. Girl, you look terrible. When's the last time you showered? Yesterday, maybe. I don't remember. That's it. I'm staging an intervention. You're coming with me. Letty, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't care what you want. You're coming. Now get dressed in something nice. We're going out. Where? To a place where you're going to remember that you're Lula me Thompson. Yes, Thompson, not Thornton anymore. And you're a beautiful, intelligent, vibrant woman who deserves better than mopping around feeling sorry for herself. But I am old, Letty. Amos was right. I'm 70 years old. No one wants a 70-year-old woman. Bullshit. You know what your problem is? You've let Amos define your worth for so long that you forgot you had worth before him. You were somebody before Amos Thornton, and you'll be somebody after him. Now get dressed. We're going to prove it. Letty took me to an upscale restaurant downtown, a place I'd never been before, a place where young, beautiful people went. Letty, why are we here? I don't belong here. You belong anywhere you want to be. Now stop acting like you're invisible and start acting like the powerful woman you are. We sat at the bar. Letty ordered us martinis. I'd never had a martini in my life. "Drink it, it'll help you relax." I took a sip. It was strong and tasted like pine trees. But after the second sip, I started to feel a little lighter. A little more confident. That's when he walked in, the most handsome man I'd seen in years. Tall, distinguished, salt and pepper hair, expensive suit, maybe late 30s, early 40s. He sat 2 seats away from us at the bar, ordered a drink, and then he smiled at me. Actually smiled. At me, the 70-year-old woman. "Good evening," he said. "I'm Ransom Webb." "I'm Lula. This is my friend Letty." "It's a pleasure to meet you both. Are you ladies celebrating something tonight?" "Yes," Letty said before I could answer. "We're celebrating Lula's freedom. She just got divorced from a fool who didn't appreciate her." "His loss," Ransom said, his eyes on me. "Though I have to say, I find it hard to believe any man would be foolish enough to let a woman as beautiful as you go." I felt my face get hot. "Thank you, but you don't need to say that." "I'm not saying it to be polite. I'm saying it because it's true. You have an elegance about you, a grace. It's rare these days." We talked, for 2 hours, about everything. About his work as an architect, about my years as a librarian before I retired, about books, about travel, about life. And for the first time in 4 months, I didn't feel old. I felt interesting, valued, seen. When the evening ended, Ransom asked, "Would you like to have dinner with me sometime? A real dinner, not just drinks at a bar." I don't know, you're so much younger than me. People would think." "I don't care what people think. I had a wonderful evening talking with you, and I'd like to do it again, if you're interested." I looked at Letty. She was grinning and nodding enthusiastically. "Yes," I said, "I'd like that." Ransom smiled. "Wonderful, how about Saturday?" And that's how it started. That's how I went from a woman who thought her life was over to a woman who was about to discover that her best years might be ahead of her. But what I didn't know, what I couldn't have predicted, was that my relationship with Ransom would become the talk of our entire community, that it would infuriate Amos beyond reason, and that it would lead to a confrontation that would expose secrets I never saw coming. She's dating a 38-year-old. If you're shocked, smash that like button and subscribe immediately. Turn on notifications. Comment, where are you watching from? And what do you think of this age gap? Over the next 3 months, Ransom and I went on dates every week. Real dates. He'd pick me up at my door, bring me flowers, take me to nice restaurants. We'd go to art galleries, jazz clubs, theater performances. Things I'd always wanted to do, but Amos had never been interested in. "Lula, you don't actually enjoy this stuff," Amos used to say. "You're just pretending to be sophisticated." But Ransom never questioned what I enjoyed. Never made me feel foolish for wanting culture, for wanting to experience new things, for wanting to live fully. "You light up when you talk about art," Ransom told me one evening as we walked through a gallery showing. "It's beautiful to watch. You're so passionate and knowledgeable. I could listen to you talk about it for hours." "Really, you're not bored?" "Bored? Lula, I'm fascinated. You make me see things I never noticed before. You make me appreciate things I'd walked past 100 times without really looking at." And that's when I realized Ransom didn't see me as old. He saw me as experienced, knowledgeable, interesting. He valued my perspective because I'd lived longer, not despite it. "Can I ask you something?" I said one evening over dinner. "Anything." "Why me? You're 38 years old. You're successful, handsome, charming. You could date any woman you want. Women your own age, beautiful young women. Why are you interested in a 70-year-old grandmother?" Ransom set down his fork, looked at me seriously. "Can I be completely honest?" "Please." "I've dated plenty of women my age, and I was always bored. The conversations were surface level. They wanted to talk about social media and celebrity gossip and things that just didn't interest me. They were looking for someone to take care of them, to give them the lifestyle they wanted. It all felt empty. But with you, Lula, you're different. You've lived a whole life. You've read thousands of books, you've traveled, you've raised children. You've experienced joy and heartbreak and everything in between. When we talk, it's real, it's deep, it's meaningful. You challenge me intellectually. You make me think. You make me want to be better. And yes, you're beautiful. Not in the conventional way that young women are beautiful, but in a way that's more powerful. You're confident without being arrogant. You're strong without being hard. You're elegant without trying. And when you smile, really smile, it lights up your whole face in a way that's absolutely captivating. I felt tears in my eyes. No one's ever talked about me like that before. Then you've been spending time with the wrong people. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next. Comment where you're watching from. But not everyone was happy about my relationship with Ransom. Word had spread through our community, our church, our social circles, our neighborhood, and people had opinions. Did you hear about Lula Thompson? She's dating a man young enough to be her grandson. It's embarrassing, a woman her age carrying on like that. She's just trying to get back at Amos. It's petty and pathetic. My daughter Minty called me upset. Mom, people are talking. They're saying terrible things about you. Can't you be more discreet? Discreet? Minty, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm dating a man who treats me well. Why should I hide that? Because it looks bad. You're 70 years old, Mom. You're supposed to be dignified. You're supposed to act your age. I am acting my age. My age just happens to still include being capable of having a relationship, of being loved, of being desired. Why is that wrong? Because he's 38. It's inappropriate. What could you possibly have in common? More than you'd think. And Minty, I don't remember you being this concerned when your father started dating a woman 31 years younger than him. Where was your outrage then? Silence, because Minty didn't have an answer for that. My son Josephus was more supportive, but worried. Mom, I'm happy you're happy, but are you sure this guy is legit? What if he's after your money? Josephus, Ransom is a successful architect. He makes more money than I do. He's not after my money. But what does he want then? Mom, men that age date women that age for a reason. What's his angle? Maybe his angle is that he genuinely likes me. Why is that so hard for everyone to believe? But the criticism that hurt the most came from Amos. Because 3 months into my relationship with Ransom, Amos started calling me. Constantly. Lula, we need to talk about this. Situation you're in. What situation? This man you're seeing. This boy, it's humiliating. Humiliating for who? For you. For you, for our family. People are laughing at you, Lula. They're saying you're having a midlife crisis. Amos, I'm 70. If I were having a midlife crisis, I'd be 140 years old when I died. You know what I mean. They're saying you're trying to recapture your youth, that you're being foolish, that this man is using you. The way Celia is using you. That's different. How is it different, Amos? You left me for a woman 31 years younger. I'm dating a man 32 years younger. What's the difference? The difference is that men dating younger women is normal. It's natural. But women dating younger men, especially women your age, it's not right. It's desperate. Desperate? Amos, you're the one who calls me 5 times a day to complain about my relationship. That sounds pretty desperate to me. I'm just trying to protect you. No, you're trying to control me, even though we're divorced. Even though you left me, you still think you get to decide what I do. But you don't, Amos. Not anymore. 4 months into my relationship with Ransom, things started getting serious. We were spending most of our free time together. He'd started introducing me to his friends, his colleagues, and they all treated me with respect. No one made jokes about my age. No one questioned why we were together. Your friends are lovely, I told Ransom after a dinner party at his colleague's house. They're good people, and they can see what I see, that you're an incredible woman. They don't think it's strange, that you're with someone so much older. Why would they? Lula, the people who matter don't care about age gaps. They care about whether 2 people are good together, whether they're happy. And we are, aren't we, happy? Yes, happier than I've been in years, maybe happier than I've ever been. Then that's all that matters. That night, Ransom asked me something that terrified me. "Lula, I've been thinking, would you want to meet my family? My parents, my sister." "Your family?" "Ransom, they're going to think I'm crazy. Your mother is probably younger than me." "My mother is 65, and she's going to love you. My whole family will." "How can you be sure?" "Because I've told them about you, about how smart you are, how funny, how kind, how you've changed my life, and they're excited to meet you." "What if they hate me? What if they think I'm taking advantage of their son?" "They won't, but Lula, even if they did, even if the whole world disapproved, I wouldn't care. Because you make me happy. You make me want to be better. You make me believe in real connection. That's rare. That's precious. And I'm not giving it up because of what anyone else thinks." I agreed to meet his family, but I was terrified. The dinner with Ransom's family was scheduled for a Saturday evening at his parents' house. I spent 3 days picking out the perfect outfit, trying on everything I owned, feeling like nothing was right. "Wear the emerald dress," Letty advised. "The one you bought for that charity event, you look stunning in it." "Isn't it too formal for a family dinner?" "It's perfect. Lula, you need to walk in there looking like the confident, powerful woman you are, not like you're apologizing for existing." So I wore the emerald dress, the deep green one that somehow made me look younger, more vibrant. I did my hair carefully, put on makeup, jewelry. I wanted to look my absolute best. Ransom picked me up at 6. When he saw me, his face lit up. "Lula, you look absolutely beautiful." "You're sure I'm not overdressed?" "You're perfect." But as we drove to his parents' house, my anxiety grew. "Ransom, what if this is a mistake? What if your family thinks?" "Stop, Lula, breathe. My family is going to love you, I promise." When we arrived, Ransom's mother, Rosetta Webb, answered the door. She was 65, elegant, with gray hair styled beautifully. She looked at me with warm brown eyes and immediately pulled me into a hug. "Lula, I'm so happy to finally meet you. Ransom has told us so much about you." "All good things, I hope." "Wonderful things. Please come in. Everyone's dying to meet you." Ransom's father, Jonas, was 70. His sister, Etta, was 42 with 2 teenage children. They were all warm, welcoming, treating me like I belonged there. Over dinner, Jonas asked me about my career as a librarian. Etta wanted to know about the art galleries I'd been visiting with Ransom. The teenage grandchildren asked me about books I'd recommend. No one mentioned my age. No one questioned my relationship with Ransom. No one made me feel uncomfortable or unwelcome. After dinner, Rosetta pulled me aside while the men were cleaning up. "Lula, I need to tell you something." My heart sank. Here it comes. The polite dismissal. The "you're too old for my son" conversation. "I want to thank you," Rosetta said. "Thank me for what?" "For making my son happy. Really, genuinely happy. I haven't seen Ransom this content in years. He lights up when he talks about you. He's more engaged with life, more present, more himself, and that's because of you." I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to know that you're welcome in this family, and I hope you'll spend more time with us." I started crying, right there in Rosetta Webb's kitchen. "I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting this. I thought you'd disapprove. Thought you'd think I was too old for Ransom." "Too old? Lula, you're a vibrant, intelligent, beautiful woman. My son is lucky to have found you. Age is irrelevant when 2 people connect the way you two do." After that dinner, I felt something shift. I stopped caring what other people thought, stopped apologizing for my relationship, stopped hiding. Ransom and I started being seen in public more. We went to church together, my church, the one I'd stopped attending after Amos left. We held hands, sat together. And yes, people stared. Yes, people whispered. But I didn't care anymore. One Sunday, the pastor, a man named Cassius who'd known me for 30 years, pulled me aside after service. "Lula, I'm glad to see you back. We've missed you." "Thank you, Pastor Cassius." "And I'm glad to see you happy. Ransom seems like a fine young man." "You don't think it's inappropriate? The age difference?" Pastor Cassius smiled. Lula, I've been a pastor for 40 years. I've seen marriages of all kinds. Young people who shouldn't be together, old people who are perfect for each other, and everything in between. What I've learned is this: love doesn't follow rules. It doesn't care about age or race or social status. It just is. And if you found love, real love, then hold on to it. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed of it. Even when people judge. Especially when people judge, because those people, they're usually jealous. Jealous that you had the courage to find happiness again. Jealous that you didn't let age define your possibilities. Jealous that you're living fully while they're just existing. 6 months into our relationship, Ransom asked me to move in with him. I know it's fast, but Lula, I want to wake up with you every morning. I want to come home to you every evening. I want to build a life with you. Ransom, people will really talk if we live together. Let them talk, I don't care, do you? I thought about it, thought about the whispers, the judgment, the scandal. And then I thought about being happy, about living the life I wanted instead of the life others expected. No, I don't care either. Yes, I'll move in with you. The day I moved into Ransom's beautiful modern house, Amos showed up. He'd heard somehow, and he was furious. Lula, you can't do this. You can't move in with this boy. It's shameful. It's... Amos, what are you doing here? I'm trying to save you from making the biggest mistake of your life. The biggest mistake of my life was staying with you for 48 years while you took me for granted. But I'm not making that mistake anymore. You're being manipulated. He's using you. Can't you see that? What I see is that you're jealous. You thought I'd sit at home and pine away for you. You thought I'd spend the rest of my life being sad and alone while you lived your best life with Celia. But I didn't. I found someone who actually values me, who actually sees me, who actually makes me happy, and you can't stand it. This isn't about me. It's entirely about you. You wanted me to be old and forgotten so you could justify leaving me, but I'm not old and forgot. I'm thriving, and you hate it. Amos's face twisted with emotion. Celia left me. I stopped. What? She left me 2 weeks ago, said I was boring, said I was old, said I didn't have enough energy for her. She took the money I'd given her and left. And you think I'm going to feel sorry for you? I think you should come home. We can start over. We can fix this. We've been married 48 years, Lula. That has to mean something. We're not married anymore. You made sure of that. And Amos, even if we were still married, even if Celia hadn't left you, even if none of this had happened, I still wouldn't come back. Because I've finally realized something. What? I deserve better than you. I deserve someone who thinks I'm beautiful at 70, someone who values my mind, someone who wants to experience life with me, not in spite of me, someone who makes me feel alive, and I found that person. So no, Amos, I'm not coming home because this is home now, with Ransom, and you need to accept that. But Amos didn't accept it. He started showing up places, following us, calling constantly. His behavior got so bad that Ransom finally said, Lula, we might need to get a restraining order. Against my ex-husband. That seems extreme. He's harassing you. He's following us. He's interfering with your life. That's stalking, and it needs to stop. We didn't get the restraining order, but Ransom did call Amos and have a very direct conversation. I don't know exactly what was said, but after that call, Amos backed off. Stopped showing up, stopped calling. Until the wedding invitation arrived. Tillman, Amos's nephew, was getting married, and both Amos and I were invited. It would be the first time we'd be in the same room since I'd moved in with Ransom. Are you going? Ransom asked. I don't know. It might be awkward. Or it might be the perfect opportunity to show everyone, including Amos, that you've moved on, that you're happy, that you're living your best life. You'd come with me to a family wedding where everyone will be staring at us. I'd go anywhere with you, and Lula, let them stare. Let them see how happy you are. Let them see what Amos lost. So I said yes. We would go to the wedding, together, and I would wear my emerald green dress and hold my head high. I had no idea that wedding would be where everything would come to a head, where Amos would finally break completely, where secrets would be revealed that I never saw coming. Because what I didn't know was that Amos hadn't just been following me. He'd been investigating Ransom, digging into his past, looking for proof that Ransom was using me, and what he'd found would shock everyone, including me. Amos is stalking her. If you're on the edge of your seat, smash that like button and subscribe now. Turn on all notifications. Comment, where are you watching from? And what do you think Amos discovered about Ransom? The night of the wedding arrived. I put on my emerald green dress, did my makeup carefully, and looked at myself in the mirror. I looked good, really good, confident, happy, alive. Ransom came up behind me, put his hands on my shoulders. You're stunning. I'm nervous, seeing Amos, seeing all those people who have been talking about us. Then, let's give them something to talk about. We arrived at the Grand Piedmont Hotel fashionably late. The ceremony was over, and the reception was in full swing. The moment we walked into the ballroom, I felt eyes turn toward us, whispers starting, people pointing. But Ransom took my hand and led me to the dance floor, and we danced. And for a few minutes, I forgot about everyone else, forgot about Amos, forgot about judgment. I was just a woman dancing with a man who made her feel beautiful. That's when Amos walked in. That's when he saw us. That's when everything I described at the beginning happened. Amos approaching us, confronting us, collapsing on his knees, begging me to take him back. But what happened after that? What happened after Ransom? And I continued dancing while Amos was helped to his feet by embarrassed relatives. That's the part that shocked everyone. Because 10 minutes later, Amos was back. But this time, he wasn't alone. He'd brought the wedding DJ to turn off the music. He'd gathered people's attention, and he was standing in the middle of the ballroom with a folder in his hands. Everyone, please, I need your attention," Amos shouted. The room went quiet. People turned to look. "Amos, what are you doing?" I asked, walking toward him. "This is Tillman's wedding, don't make a scene." "I have to do this, Lula. I have to protect you. I've been investigating your boyfriend, and I found something you need to know. Something everyone needs to know." Ransom's hand tightened on mine. "Mr. Thornton, whatever you think you found." "I know exactly what I found." Amos opened the folder. "Ransom Webb, 38 years old, successful architect, seems perfect, right? But I did some digging, and you know what I discovered." "Amos, stop," I tried. "He's been married before, twice, and both times to women significantly older than him." The room gasped. People started whispering. I felt my stomach drop. His first marriage was when he was 25, to a woman who was 48. It lasted 3 years before she died of cancer. His second marriage was when he was 30, to a woman who was 55. That marriage lasted 4 years before she died in a car accident. Amos looked around the room triumphantly. "Don't you see? This man has a pattern. He targets older women. He marries them and then they die and he inherits everything. And now he's doing it to Lula." The room erupted, people talking over each other, staring at Ransom. Staring at me, I felt like the floor was tilting. "Ransom," I turned to him, "is this true? Were you married to 2 older women?" He looked pained. "Yes, it's true, but not for the reasons he's suggesting." "Of course you'll deny it," Amos shouted. "But the facts speak for themselves. 2 dead wives, 2 inheritances, and now you're targeting my ex-wife." "Amos, you need to stop talking," Ransom said quietly, dangerously. "Right now." "Or what? You'll threaten me. Everyone here needs to know what you are. A con artist. A predator who targets vulnerable older women." I said stop. Ransom's voice was ice. "You have no idea what you're talking about." "Then explain it. Explain why you've been married to 2 older women who are both conveniently dead." That's when Ransom did something I didn't expect. He took the microphone from Amos's hand, looked out at the crowd, and when he spoke, his voice was shaking with emotion. "You want to know about my wives? Fine, I'll tell you. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on all notifications because this is about to get emotional." Ransom took a deep breath. "My first wife, Margaret, was 48 when we met. I was 25. I was a struggling architecture student working part-time at a design firm where she was a senior partner. She was brilliant, creative, the best architect I'd ever met. We became friends first, then more. And yes, everyone judged us. Everyone said I was using her, that I was after her money or her connections. But I loved her, genuinely loved her. She mentored me, believed in me when no one else did, helped me become the architect I am today. We got married despite everyone's disapproval, and we were happy, really, truly happy. His voice cracked. And then she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. She had 6 months, the worst 6 months of my life. I watched the woman I loved fade away. I held her hand through chemo, through the pain, through everything. And when she died, I inherited her estate, not because I wanted it, not because I'd been planning it, but because she'd put me in her will, because she wanted me to have the means to continue the work we'd started together. The room was completely silent now. People who'd been judging moments before looked uncomfortable. My second wife, Patricia, I met 3 years later. I was 30, she was 55, a widow who'd hired me to design her new home. We became friends while working on the project. She helped me heal from Margaret's death, and I helped her rebuild her life after losing her husband. Eventually, that friendship became love. And yes, people judged us too, said I was doing it again, targeting older women, using them. But Patricia she was sunshine, she was joy. She made me laugh again, made me believe I could love again. We got married. We were planning to grow old together. And then a drunk driver ran a red light and hit her car. She died instantly. And yes, I inherited her estate too, because she'd updated her will after we married, because that's what spouses do. Ransom's voice hardened. So yes, Amos, I've been married to 2 older women. And yes, they both died. And yes, I inherited money from both of them. But if you're suggesting I married them for money, if you're suggesting I had anything to do with their deaths, then you're not just wrong. You're despicable. He looked at Amos with pure contempt. I loved both of them. I mourned both of them. I still mourn them. And the fact that you'd use their deaths, use the worst moments of my life to try to break up my relationship with Lula, that tells me everything I need to know about who you are. Amos's face had gone from triumphant to uncertain. But the pattern. There is no pattern. There's just a man who happens to connect with women who are older than him, who values intelligence and experience over youth and superficiality, who doesn't care about age gaps because he cares about the person. Ransom turned to me. Lula, I should have told you about Margaret and Patricia earlier. I was going to. I was waiting for the right time. I didn't want you to think I had a type or that you were just another older woman I was pursuing. Because you're not. You're Lula. You're special. You're irreplaceable. I stood there processing everything. 2 dead wives, 2 inheritances. It did sound suspicious when Amos said it. But hearing Ransom explain it, hearing the pain in his voice, seeing the grief in his eyes, I believed him. Did you love them? I asked quietly. Yes, very much. Do you love me? Yes, more than I've loved anyone since Patricia died, more than I thought I could love again. I looked at Amos, at the man who'd tried to sabotage my happiness. Amos, you investigated Ransom hopping to find proof he was using me, but all you found was proof that he's capable of loving deeply, that he's capable of commitment, that he values older women instead of discarding them when they reach a certain age. But Lula, you found proof that Ransom is everything you're not. Someone who stays. Someone who loves through difficulty. Someone who doesn't abandon the people he cares about when things get hard or when someone younger comes along. I took Ransom's hand. I believe you about Margaret, about Patricia, about loving them, and about loving me. Thank you, he whispered. But Amos wasn't done. This is insane. Lula, 2 wives died. Doesn't that concern you? Don't you wonder if maybe? If maybe what, Amos? If maybe Ransom somehow caused a car accident? If maybe he somehow gave someone cancer? You're not just accusing him of being a gold digger. You're accusing him of murder. Do you hear how insane that sounds? I'm just saying it's suspicious. You know what's suspicious? Your obsession with my relationship. Your constant interference. Your inability to accept that I've moved on and found happiness without you. Tillman Amos's nephew, the groom, finally stepped forward. Uncle Amos, this is my wedding. You've disrupted it enough. I think you need to leave. But now, please, before you embarrass yourself any further. Amos looked around the room, at his family members shaking their heads, at friends looking away. At Celia, his date to the wedding, apparently they'd gotten back together, standing by the door looking mortified. "This isn't over," Amos said to me. "I'm going to prove he's using you. I'm going to save you from making the biggest mistake of your life." "The biggest mistake of my life was believing you loved me," I said coldly. "Now leave. You're not wanted here." He left, finally, and the room slowly went back to normal. Music started playing. People went back to dancing, but I could feel them watching us, wondering, judging. "Do you want to leave?" Ransom asked. "No, I want to dance. I want to show everyone that we're not ashamed, that we're not hiding, that what we have is real." So we danced, and gradually people stopped staring. The evening continued. And by the end of the night, several people had come up to us to apologize, to say they'd been wrong to judge, to say they could see how much we cared about each other. Ransom's sister Etta pulled me aside. "Lula, I need to tell you something about Margaret and Patricia." "You knew them?" "I knew of them, and I know what Ransom didn't say tonight. Margaret's family accused him of marrying her for money, too. They contested her will, tried to prove he'd manipulated her. It went to court. And Ransom won because there was zero evidence of manipulation. Because Margaret had left letters explaining exactly why she'd married him, why she'd put him in her will, how happy he'd made her. The same thing happened with Patricia's family. And again, Ransom was completely cleared. Why didn't he mention that? Because he doesn't like talking about it. Those court battles happened right after the deaths of the women he loved. He had to defend his love for them while grieving them. It was horrible. And I think he was afraid if he told you about it, you'd think he was some kind of serial husband who goes after older women for their money. But he's not. No, he's just a man who sees people for who they are, not how old they are. My brother has always been like that. Even as a kid, he'd be friends with the older kids, the adults, because he found them more interesting. Age has never mattered to him. Does it bother you that he's with me, someone so much older? No, because I can see he's happy, really happy, happier than he's been since Patricia died. And Lula, that's all I want for him, someone who makes him happy, someone who loves him, someone who understands him, and you're that person. When we got home that night, Ransom and I sat on his couch in silence for a long time. "Are you okay?" he finally asked. "I don't know. It was a lot. Finding out about your wives, finding out about Amos's investigation, all of it." "Are you having second thoughts about us?" "No, but Ransom, I need to understand something. You said you loved Margaret and Patricia. Do you? Do you think you're trying to replace them with me?" He thought carefully before answering. "No, you're not a replacement for them. You're the next chapter. Lula, Margaret taught me what real love could be. Patricia taught me I could love again after loss. And you're teaching me that love doesn't have an expiration date, that you can find it at any age, that it can still surprise you and change you and make you better." "I'm scared," I admitted. "What if Amos is right? Not about you using me, but about the pattern. What if loving me leads to something bad happening to me?" "Lula, I can't promise nothing bad will ever happen. Life happens, death happens, but I can promise that however much time we have together, I'll make it count. I'll make sure you know every day how much you matter, how much you're valued, how much you're loved." That's what I want, to be loved, really loved, not tolerated or taken for granted like I was with Amos, but really, genuinely loved. "Then that's what you'll have, for as long as you'll let me give it to you." But the next morning, everything changed, because Amos showed up at our door at 7 a.m., pounding on it, shouting, "Lula, Lula, open this door right now. I need to talk to you." Ransom opened the door. "Mr. Thornton, what are you doing here?" "I need to talk to Lula, alone, right now." "No," I said, coming to the door. "Whatever you have to say, you can say in front of Ransom." Amos's face was red, his eyes wild. He looked like he hadn't slept. "Fine. I hired a private investigator, a real one, to dig deeper into Ransom's past, and I found something he didn't tell you last night." "Amos, leave." Ransom Webb isn't even his real name. His birth name is Ransom Patterson. He changed it legally 10 years ago. Why would someone change their name unless they were hiding something? Ransom went very still. You investigated me that deeply. I had to. I had to prove to Lula that you're a fraud. Amos, you need to leave. Now. Ransom's voice was dangerous again. Not until Lula knows the truth. Ransom, tell her. Tell her why you changed your name. Tell her what you're hiding. I looked at Ransom. Did you change your name? He closed his eyes. Yes. Why? Because, he took a deep breath. Because my father was a con artist, a real one. He ran scams his whole life, hurt a lot of people. And when I became an adult, people recognized my last name. They'd refuse to hire me because of what my father had done. They'd assume I was like him, so I changed my name, took my mother's maiden name, Webb, and started over. See, Amos shouted triumphantly. He's hiding his past, just like I said. He's a con artist just like his father. No, Ransom said quietly. I'm nothing like my father. I changed my name to escape his legacy, to build my own reputation, to be judged on my own merits instead of his crimes. That's not hiding. That's surviving. I looked at Ransom, at the pain in his face, at the shame of having to explain this, at the vulnerability of having his past exposed. And I made my choice. I turned to Amos. Get out. But Lula. Get out, you've crossed every line. You've harassed us, stalked us, investigated us, tried to humiliate us publicly. And now you've shown up at our home at 7 a.m. to reveal information you had no right to dig up. You're obsessed, and it needs to stop. I'm trying to protect you. No, you're trying to control me, because you can't handle the fact that I'm happy without you. You can't handle the fact that I found someone better than you. You can't handle the fact that you threw me away and I landed on my feet. No, I didn't just land on my feet, I soared. And it's killing you. That's not. It is, and Amos, here's the truth. Even if everything you discovered was true, even if Ransom was a con artist, which he's not, even if he was using me, which he's not, even if all of it was exactly as bad as you're trying to make it sound, I'd still choose him over you. Because even the worst version of Ransom you're imagining is better than the real version of you I lived with for 48 years. Amos looked like I'd slapped him. You don't mean that. I absolutely mean it. Now leave. And don't come back, don't call, don't show up, don't investigate, don't interfere. We're done, Amos, completely done. Move on with your life and let me live mine. I can't, he whispered. I can't move on, because I made the biggest mistake of my life when I left you, and I don't know how to fix it. You can't fix it. That's the point. You can't undo what you did. You can't take back the words you said. You can't unhurt me. All you can do is accept the consequences and try to be a better person going forward. But Amos, that doesn't involve me. That's your journey to take alone. He stood there for another moment, then turned and walked away. And I really knew that this was the end, that Amos would finally let go. But what I didn't know was that Amos's investigation had triggered something else. Something that would bring an unexpected visitor to our door 3 days later. Someone who would explain why Ransom really connected with older women. Someone who would reveal a truth that would make everything make sense. And that truth would change everything. Ransom changed his name. If you're desperate to know what truth is revealed, smash that like button and subscribe now. Turn on all notifications. And comment, where are you watching from? And do you think Lula made the right choice? 3 days after Amos's final confrontation at our door, I was in the kitchen making breakfast when the doorbell rang. Ransom answered it, and I heard a familiar voice. Ransom, honey, we need to talk. It was Rosetta, Ransom's mother. She came into the kitchen where I was scrambling eggs, her expression serious. Lula, I hope it's okay that I came by unannounced, but I heard about what happened at Tillman's wedding, and about Amos showing up here, and I realized there's something I need to tell you. Something that will help you understand my son. Mom, you don't have to. Ransom started. Yes, I do. Lula deserves to know the full story, to understand why you are the way you are. Rosetta sat down at the kitchen table. Lula, please sit, both of you. We sat, and Rosetta began. Ransom wasn't raised by me and Jonas for the first 8 years of his life. He was raised by my mother, his grandmother, Arminta. I was 17 when I had Ransom. Too young, still in school. Jonas and I weren't married yet. My mother offered to take Ransom while I finished high school and college. She said she'd care for him until I was ready to be a proper mother. Ransom was staring at his hands. This was clearly difficult for him to hear his mother talk about. Arminta was 55 when she took Ransom in. She was a professor at Spelman College. Brilliant, strong, independent, and she loved that baby with everything she had. She read to him every night, took him to museums and libraries, taught him to appreciate art and architecture and literature. She shaped who he became. When Ransom was 8, I finally graduated from college. Jonas and I got married. We were ready to take Ransom back. But by then, he was so bonded to Arminta. She was his whole world. We decided he'd live with us during the week but spend weekends with her. And that worked, until Ransom was 13. Rosetta's voice cracked. Arminta had a stroke, a massive one. She was 68. She died 3 days later. And Ransom was devastated. Absolutely devastated. He'd lost the person he was closest to in the world, the person who'd raised him, the person who understood him better than anyone. She looked at me. After Arminta died, Ransom changed. He became withdrawn, didn't connect with kids his own age. They seemed shallow to him, silly. He started seeking out older people, teachers, librarians, his friends' parents. He'd have long conversations with them, find mentors, connect with them in ways he couldn't connect with people his own age. When he went to college and met Margaret, his professor who was 48, everyone thought it was inappropriate, thought she was taking advantage of a young student. But Lula, Margaret reminded him of Arminta, not physically, but in her intelligence, her passion for architecture, her way of teaching. Ransom fell in love with who she was as a person, with qualities he'd loved in his grandmother. Ransom finally spoke, his voice thick with emotion. I've never been attracted to youth. I've been attracted to depth, to experience, to the kind of wisdom that only comes from living a full life. Arminta gave me that. She showed me what it meant to live thoughtfully, to appreciate beauty, to value intelligence over everything else. And I've spent my whole adult life seeking that in romantic partners. That's why Margaret, that's why Patricia, and that's why you, Lula, you all have that depth, that wisdom, that fullness of life. You're not shallow or superficial. You're women who have lived and learned and grown, and that's what I'm attracted to. Rosetta reached across the table and took my hand. Lula, when people accuse Ransom of having a pattern or a fetish or using older women, they don't understand. They see age gaps and make assumptions. But what they don't see is that Ransom literally can't connect with people who haven't lived enough life to have depth. It's not about their age. It's about their substance. And you have that substance. I felt tears running down my face. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because I was afraid, Ransom admitted. Afraid you'd think I was trying to replace my grandmother. Afraid you'd feel like you were just another older woman in a pattern. But you're not, Lula. Arminta taught me what kind of person I wanted to be with. But you're not her replacement. You're your own person, your own kind of wonderful. And, Rosetta added, I wanted you to know this because of what Amos has been saying. He's trying to make Ransom seem like a predator, like someone who targets vulnerable older women. But the truth is, Ransom has always been drawn to older women because they're not vulnerable, they're powerful, they're accomplished, they're everything he values. I looked at Ransom, really looked at him, and suddenly everything made sense. His maturity, his appreciation for art and literature, his ease with older people, his discomfort with superficiality. I wish you'd told me sooner, I said, but I understand why you didn't. And Ransom, this doesn't change how I feel about you. If anything, it makes me love you more, because now I understand you better. You love me, he looked stunned. We'd been dating for 9 months, living together for 3, but neither of us had said those words yet. Yes, I love you. I've loved you for a while now. I was just afraid to say it. Afraid you'd think I was too old to say things like that. Too old to feel things like that. Ransom pulled me into his arms. You're never too old for love. And Lula, I love you too. I've loved you since that first night at the bar when you told me about that rare first edition you'd found at the library where you used to work, when your whole face lit up talking about books and literature and preservation. I fell in love with your passion, with your intelligence, with you. We sat there holding each other while Rosetta quietly slipped out, giving us privacy. That evening, something unexpected happened. Amos called, but this time his voice was different, calmer, resigned. Lula, I'm not calling to argue or to try to win you back. I'm calling to apologize, really apologize. I'm listening. I've spent the past 3 days thinking, really thinking, about what I did to you, about why I did it. And I've realized something terrible about myself. What's that? I left you because I was afraid of dying, afraid of being old. I thought if I was with someone younger, I could pretend I wasn't 73. Pretend I had more time. Pretend death wasn't coming for me. But all I did was waste the time I have left. I threw away 48 years of marriage, hurt the woman I loved, destroyed my family's respect. And for what? To feel young for a few months before reality hit. Amos, let me finish, please. I've been so focused on your relationship with Ransom because I couldn't stand seeing you happy. Couldn't stand seeing you thrive without me. It made me realize that you didn't need me, that I wasn't as important to your life as I thought I was, that you were capable of being happy, maybe even happier, without me. He took a shaky breath. And that's when I understood. I didn't leave you because you were too old. I left you because I didn't think I was good enough for you. Because deep down I knew you were smarter than me, stronger than me, more capable than me. And instead of appreciating that, instead of being proud of the woman I married, I resented it. So I left. I told myself it was about age, but really it was about my own inadequacy. I was silent, because this was the most honest Amos had been in our entire marriage. I can't undo what I did, he continued. I can't take back the pain I caused. But Lula, I want you to know you deserve to be happy. You deserve Ransom. You deserve everything good that comes your way. And I'm going to stop interfering. Stop investigating. Stop trying to win you back, because you're right. Even if I could get you back, you deserve better than who I've become. What will you do now? I'm going to therapy, real therapy, to figure out why I sabotage good things, why I can't handle my own aging, why I hurt the people I love. And Lula, I'm going to try to be a better father to our children, a better grandfather, a better person, not to win you back, but because it's what I should have been doing all along. I hope you do that, Amos. I hope you find peace with yourself. Will you ever forgive me? Maybe, someday. But Amos, even if I forgive you, we're not getting back together. That chapter is closed. I know, and I accept that. Goodbye, Lula, be happy. He hung up, and I sat there feeling something I hadn't felt toward Amos in a long time. Compassion. Not love, not longing, but compassion. Because I understood now that his cruelty had come from his own pain, his own fear. And while that didn't excuse what he'd done, it helped me understand it. 6 months after that phone call, Ransom and I were sitting on our back porch watching the sunset. We'd just come back from a 3-week trip to Italy. We'd visited museums and ancient ruins and eaten incredible food and made love in beautiful hotels and lived fully. Lula, I need to ask you something, Ransom said. What? He pulled out a small velvet box, opened it. Inside was a stunning emerald ring, the same deep green as the dress I'd worn to Tillman's wedding. I know we're not traditional. I know people will say we're too old for this. I know there will be judgment. But Lula, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, however long that is. I want to wake up next to you every morning. I want to grow old with you, really old, not whatever this is now. I want you to be my wife. Will you marry me? I looked at this man who was 32 years younger than me. This man who loved me not despite my age, but because of who I'd become through living. This man who'd taught me that love doesn't have an expiration date. Yes, I said. Yes, I'll marry you. We got married 2 months later. A small ceremony at Ransom's parents' house. Just immediate family and close friends. My children were there, even Minty, who'd finally accepted that my relationship with Ransom was real and good. Ransom's family was there. Pastor Cassius officiated. And yes, Amos found out. He sent a card. It said, "Congratulations, I mean it, be happy, you deserve it." I believed he did mean it, that he'd finally let go, that he'd finally accepted that I'd moved on. Today, I'm 72 years old. I've been married to Ransom for 2 years. We travel constantly. We go to art shows and concerts and plays. We have deep conversations about everything. We laugh constantly. We're genuinely happy. People still judge us, still whisper about the age gap, still question whether it's appropriate. But we don't care, because we've learned something important. The people who matter don't mind, and the people who mind don't matter. My children have fully accepted Ransom now. Zella says, "Mom, I've never seen you this happy. That's all that matters." Josephus says, "Ransom is good for you. He brings out the best in you." Even Minty says, "I was wrong to judge. You two are perfect for each other." Ransom's family has welcomed me completely. His mother and I talk on the phone weekly. His sister and I have become close friends. His nieces call me Aunt Lula. And Amos is doing better. He did go to therapy. He's working on himself. He's building better relationships with our children and grandchildren. He's dating someone his own age now, a woman named Isham who's 71 and doesn't put up with his nonsense. They seem good together. We're not friends. We probably never will be, but we're civil. We can be in the same room at family events without drama. We've both moved on. Last week, I was at a book club meeting, a group of women my age who get together monthly to discuss literature. One of the women, newly divorced at 68, asked me, "Lula, how did you do it? How did you move on after 48 years of marriage? How did you find love again? How did you get past caring what people think?" I thought about how to answer. I stopped believing that my age defined what I could do, stopped believing that 70 meant I was done living, stopped believing that I had to accept whatever life gave me instead of actively pursuing what I wanted. But how? How do you get to that mindset? By realizing that society's rules about aging, especially for women, are designed to make us invisible, to make us think we're no longer desirable, no longer valuable, no longer capable of love or adventure or joy. And once I realized those rules were lies, I could break them. Weren't you scared of being judged, of people talking? Terrified, but I was more scared of spending the rest of my life being small, being invisible, being what society expected instead of who I wanted to be. So I chose courage over comfort, and it changed everything. Another woman asked, "Do you think you'll stay with Ransom? Given the age difference, you'll probably, die first?" Yes, probably. I'm 72, he's 40. Statistically, I'll die 20 or 30 years before him. And yes, that's sad. But you know what would be sadder? Never having this love at all, never experiencing this joy, never knowing what it feels like to be truly cherished. Ransom knows I'll probably die first. We've talked about it. And his attitude is, we'll have however many years we have, and we'll make them count. We won't waste time worrying about the end. We'll live fully until we can't anymore. "That's beautiful," the woman said, tears in her eyes. "I wish I had your courage." You do, you just haven't accessed it yet, but it's there. Waiting for you to stop believing society's lies about aging and start believing your own truth. Last night, Ransom and I were getting ready for bed when he said, "I have something for you." He handed me a leather-bound journal. "I've been writing about us, about what you've taught me, about what loving you has meant to me, and I wanted you to have it, so that when I'm gone." When you're gone, Ransom, I'll be gone first. We don't know that. Life is unpredictable. But either way, whoever is left will have this. We'll have proof of how much we loved each other. We'll have memories documented. We'll have something to hold on to. I opened the journal. The first entry was dated the night we met at that bar. "I met someone tonight, a woman named Lula. She's 70 years old and the most interesting person I've talked to in years. I think I could fall in love with her." I flipped through pages and pages of entries. Ransom writing about our dates, about conversations we'd had, about moments that meant something to him, about how I'd changed his life. The last entry was from yesterday. "Lula and I have been married 2 years today, and I'm still amazed every day that she chose me. that she trusted me, that she believed our love was worth the judgment and the criticism and the whispers. She's the bravest person I know, and I'm the luckiest man alive. I was crying by the time I finished reading. Ransom, this is the most beautiful thing anyone's ever given me. You gave me my life back, Lula. After Patricia died, I was just existing, going through the motions. And then I met you. And suddenly I was living again, really living. You taught me that love can surprise you at any age, that it's never too late, that the best parts of life can come when you least expect them. You taught me those things too. When Amos left, I thought my life was over. Thought I was too old for love, too old for adventure, too old for happiness. But you showed me I was wrong. You showed me I was just getting started. We held each other, and I thought about the journey I'd been on. From devastated divorcee to confident woman to beloved wife. From believing I was too old to realizing age was just a number. From letting others define my worth to defining it myself. This morning, I woke up in Ransom's arms, watched the sunrise through our bedroom window, felt grateful for every single moment of this life I'd built. My phone buzzed. A text from my grandson Cassius, Zella's oldest son. Grandma, thank you for showing me what real love looks like. You and Ransom inspire me. When I'm looking for love, I'm going to look for someone who makes me feel the way he makes you feel. Age doesn't matter. Connection does. Thanks for teaching me that. I showed the text to Ransom. He smiled. See, we're not just living our lives. We're teaching the next generation that love doesn't follow society's rules, that courage matters more than conformity, that it's never too late to choose happiness. Do you regret it? I asked. Being with someone so much older, missing out on growing old together. We are growing old together. You're just getting there faster than me. But Lula, I'd rather have 20 years with you than 50 years with someone who doesn't make me feel alive. Quality over quantity. Always. What will you do when I'm gone? I'll mourn, I'll grieve, I'll miss you every day. But I'll also celebrate that I got to love you, that I got to be loved by you. And maybe, if I'm very lucky, I'll find love again. Just like you found love again after Amos. Because you taught me that love doesn't run out, that you can lose someone and still be capable of loving again. Promise me something. Anything. Promise me you won't be alone. When I'm gone, promise me you'll find someone who makes you happy, someone who appreciates you the way you deserve. I don't want you spending the rest of your life mourning me. I promise, if you promise me the same thing, if something happens to me first, which is possible, life is unpredictable, I want you to keep living, keep loving, keep being the amazing woman you are. I promise. 6 months ago, Amos had a health scare, a mild heart attack. It reminded him and all of us that life is fragile, that time is limited, that we need to make the most of whatever time we have. He called me from the hospital. Lula, I'm okay, but this made me think, made me realize I wasted so much time, chasing youth, running from death, when I should have been appreciating life, appreciating you. Amos, you can't change the past, but you can make better choices going forward. I know, and I am. Isham and I are getting married, nothing big, just a quiet ceremony, but I wanted you to know, and I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, for what? For showing me what I lost, for being happy without me, for proving that you were never the problem, I was. Watching you thrive with Ransom made me realize that my fears about aging had nothing to do with you. They were my own issues, my own inadequacies, and I'm sorry I made you pay for them. I appreciate that, Amos, and I hope you and Isham are very happy. We are. She's good for me, calls me on my nonsense, makes me be better, kind of like you used to do before I stopped listening. We hung up, and I felt something release. The last bit of anger I'd been holding, the last bit of hurt, because Amos had finally understood, had finally taken responsibility, had finally grown. Today, at 72 years old, I live in a beautiful home with a man who adores me. I travel the world. I pursue my passions. I spend time with children and grandchildren who respect me. I have friends who celebrate me. I have a life that's full and rich and meaningful. And when people ask me, and they do ask, how did you do it? How did you find love at 70? I tell them, I stopped believing I was too old to be loved. I stopped believing age made me less valuable. I stopped believing society's lies about what 70-year-old women are supposed to do and be. And once I stopped believing those lies, I was free to live the truth, that I'm still capable of love, still capable of passion, still capable of adventure, still capable of growth. Amos thought he could replace me, thought I'd just fade away while he lived his best life with someone younger. But here's what he learned. You can't replace a woman like me. You can leave her. You can underestimate her. You can dismiss her, but you can't replace her. And when he saw who replaced him, when he saw me with Ransom, happy and thriving and loved, he broke. Because he finally understood what he'd lost. And by then, it was too late. My husband thought he could replace me, but he broke when he saw who replaced him. Because what replaced him wasn't just a younger man. It was a better man. A man who saw my value. A man who chose me every day. A man who proved that I was never too old for anything. I was just with the wrong man. And now I'm with the right one. Wow, what an incredible journey from heartbreak to a love story that defies all expectations. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you believe that it's never too late for love, we need you to take action right now. Smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful grandmother stories every single week. Turn on all notifications so you never miss our next amazing story. Comment below and tell us, where are you watching from? USA, UK, Canada, Jamaica, South Africa, Kenya, Australia. We love our global family. Do you think the age gap matters when there's real love? Would you have the courage to date someone much younger or older? What was your favorite moment in this story? Share this video with anyone who thinks they're too old for love. People dealing with divorce or heartbreak after long marriages. Women who have been told they're past their prime. Anyone facing judgment for their relationship choices. Everyone who needs to know, age is just a number when it comes to love. Thank you to our incredible viewers from around the world. From the USA, United Kingdom, Canada, South Africa, Kenya, Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, Zimbabwe, Australia, and everywhere else. We see you, we appreciate you, and we love you. Remember Lula's lesson, you're never too old for love. Society's rules about aging are lies designed to make us invisible. Stop believing you're past your prime. Your best years might be ahead of you. Choose courage over comfort. Don't let others define your worth. Age gaps don't matter when there's real connection. And when someone underestimates you, show them what they lost. Stay strong, stay blessed, and remember, you can't replace a woman who knows her worth. You can only regret losing her.